June 29th on this day, in 1236, Ferdinand III of Castile and Leon captured Córdoba in Spain, marking a significant moment in the Christian reconquista of the Iberian Peninsula. In 1534, French explorer Jacques Cartier sighted Prince Edward Island, which is now part of Canada, during his voyage of exploration in North America. In 1613, the Globe Theatre in London, famously associated with William Shakespeare, burned down during a performance of Henry VIII. The fire was started when a theatrical cannon misfired, igniting the thatched roof. In 1652, Massachusetts declared itself an independent commonwealth, asserting its autonomy in colonial North America. In 1762, Russian Tsar Peter III divorced his wife, Catherine, who would soon become the famed Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia. In 1767, the British Parliament passed the Townshend Revenue Act, sponsored by Chancellor Charles Townshend. This law imposed import taxes on tea and other goods in colonial America, fueling dissent that led toward revolution. In 1854, Charlotte Brontë, the English novelist best known for Jane Eyre, married Arthur Bell Nicholls, who was a curate of her father's parish. In 1858, George Washington Goethals, later renowned for engineering the Panama Canal, was born. His leadership was crucial in completing the monumental waterway. In 1861, English poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning, celebrated for her Sonnets from the Portuguese, died at age 55 from a severe illness. In 1862, during the American Civil War, Union forces retreating from Richmond, Virginia, fought the Battle of Savage's Station against Confederate troops. In 1880, France formally annexed Tahiti, bringing the Pacific island under French colonial rule. In 1903, the British government formally protested against Belgian atrocities taking place in the Congo Free State, raising international awareness of human rights abuses in Africa. In 1905, Russian troops intervened in widespread riots at major ports across the country, resulting in chaos and widespread looting of ships amid growing unrest leading up to the Russian Revolution. In 1910, Frank Loesser, the American songwriter known for classics like Guys and Dolls and Baby It's Cold Outside, was born. In 1913, after a year of war with the Ottoman Empire, divisions arose among the Balkan League members over the conquered territories, leading Bulgaria to attack Greek and Serbian forces in Macedonia and sparking the Second Balkan War. In 1917, Ukraine proclaimed its independence from Russia, marking an important milestone in Eastern European history. In 1925, a powerful earthquake struck Santa Barbara, California, causing widespread damage and reshaping parts of the city's infrastructure. In 1927, pilots Lester Maitland and Albert Hegenberger completed the first trans-Pacific flight, flying their plane, the Bird of Paradise, from Oakland, California to Oahu, Hawaii, in just under 26 hours. In 1930, Oriana Fallaci, the renowned Italian journalist and author, known for her fearless interviews and commentary, was born. In 1931, actress Mary Astor, known for roles in classic Hollywood films, married Dr. Franklin Thorpe. In 1932, the Army of Siam, modern-day Thailand, staged a coup in Bangkok and declared an end to the absolute monarchy, establishing a constitutional government. In 1939, Ford introduced the revolutionary Ford Ferguson 9N tractor, which featured Harry Ferguson's innovative three-point hitch system, transforming farming technology. In 1941, 6,000 Jews were murdered during a deadly pogrom in Bucharest, Romania, reflecting the horrific violence faced by Jewish communities in Europe during this period. In 1950, President Harry S. Truman authorized a naval blockade of Korea, marking a significant escalation in the Korean War. In 1951, the United States invited the Soviet Union to peace talks regarding the Korean War, proposing that the negotiations be held on a ship in Wonsan Harbor. In 1955, the Soviet Union deployed tanks to the city of Poznan, Poland, to suppress anti-communist demonstrations, resulting in significant political unrest. In 1958, at the FIFA World Cup final in Stockholm, Sweden, players Vava and Pele each scored 2 goals as Brazil defeated Sweden 5-2, securing Brazil's first World Cup victory. In 1964, the Civil Rights Act was passed in the United States Senate after an arduous 83-day filibuster. This landmark legislation outlawed major forms of discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. In 1964, the NBC television network approved Gene Roddenberry's script for the pilot episode of Star Trek, titled The Cage, paving the way for one of television's most influential series. In 1966, United States military aircraft bombed targets in Hanoi, the capital of North Vietnam, and the nearby port city of Haiphong for the first time during the Vietnam War. In 1967, Israel removed barricades in Jerusalem, effectively reunifying the city after the Six-Day War. In 1970, United States troops completed their withdrawal from Cambodia as part of efforts to de-escalate involvement in the Vietnam War. In 1974, while touring with the Kirov Ballet in Toronto, dancer Mikhail Baryshnikov defected from the Soviet Union, later settling in the United States and becoming a symbol of artistic freedom. In 1982, Israel invaded Lebanon, beginning a military campaign that had significant consequences for the region. In 1986, British businessman Richard Branson set a new speed record for the fastest Atlantic Ocean crossing by boat, completing the journey in about 3 days aboard the Virgin Atlantic Challenger 2. However, he was denied the coveted Blue Riband Award because he refueled during the crossing. In 1990, the London Amendment to the Montreal Protocol was adopted, banning chlorofluorocarbons, harmful chemicals responsible for ozone layer depletion. Developed countries were required to phase out these substances by the year 2000 and developing countries by 2010. In 1994, the United States reopened Guantanamo Naval Base in Cuba to process refugees, reflecting ongoing migration and refugee challenges in the region. In 1995, the Space Shuttle Atlantis docked with the Russian space station Mir for the first time, symbolizing a new era of cooperation in space between the former Cold War adversaries and creating the largest man-made satellite in history. In 2003, American actress Katharine Hepburn, renowned for her spirited roles and strong character, died at the age of 96 after a legendary career that helped reshape Hollywood's portrayal of women. In 2007, Apple Incorporated released its first iPhone, a mobile smartphone that revolutionized the technology industry and set new standards for personal communication. In 2009, Bernard Madoff, an American investment manager, was sentenced to 150 years in prison for orchestrating the largest Ponzi scheme in history, defrauding thousands of investors. In 2012, American actress Katie Holmes divorced film star and producer Tom Cruise, reportedly due to disagreements over religious beliefs and the upbringing of their daughter, ending their 5-year marriage. In 2020, Carl Reiner, the celebrated American actor, writer, and director, died at the age of 98. He created the groundbreaking television series The Dick Van Dyke Show and directed influential comedies such as The Jerk. In 2023, the United States Supreme Court ruled in Students for Fair Admissions Incorporated versus Harvard, effectively ending the use of race-based affirmative action in college admissions nationwide.
Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's events.